Hi. Okay, so I'm going to share with you guys my most recent dream that I had this past Saturday. And the date is September 19th, 2020. And I woke up around 2 a.m. So it starts out, I'm at this doctor's office, and you could tell it was like a prestigious doctor, someone well known. And it was on a huge estate, and it was beautiful. And when I went inside, I'm talking to the doctor, and behind him is this big, huge open window. And you can see a very large, beautiful saltwater pool back behind out in the courtyard. And I went in and I'm talking to the doctor. And I was there because I was worried about my appearance. And I wanted to be perfect and look beautiful. And I kept saying, to myself, I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. And as I was talking to the doctor, I asked him, I said, can you make my skin look flawless? And he said, sure, yes, I can do that. But it would only be temporary. And so as soon as he said that, I look over his shoulder, and there's this woman, and she's standing out in the distance about to dive into the pool. And she was wearing this black swimsuit, and she was very beautiful. And I found myself just kind of looking at her, thinking and comparing myself, like thinking, gosh, I wish I looked like that. She's beautiful. I wish I could look like her. And well, anyway, she dives into the pool, and I continue to talk to the doctor. And this woman, she was flawless. She was flawless. You didn't see any imperfections. She looked perfect. And so I continued to talk to the doctor. And as I'm talking to him, she comes back up out of the water. And when she comes back up out of the water, it looked as if like the water had washed all of her beauty away. And when she came out, I could see all of her flaws and all of her imperfections. And then I just kind of continue to talk to the doctor, and he's trying to talk me into, getting some work done and everything. And so then I finish talking to him, and I leave. And I go over to my parents' house, and I'm standing in the backyard, and I'm standing out on their back porch, and I'm there with my brother, and his name is Jacob. And him and it's evening at this point, and we're looking up in the sky, and I start to have a conversation with him. And I say to him, I tell you, there are signs in the sky. Look up, look up. And he just kind of looks at me, and I said, there's signs of Jesus coming. Look up. So he looks up, and I'm watching him, but I can tell he's unsure and that he really can't see anything. And so I asked him, I said, can you see anything? And he said, no, I can't. And I said, there's signs in the sky. And then I look up in the sky, and I see several white shining stars. And these stars formed the cross of light. And I look back at my brother, and I said, can you see it? Can you see the signs? And he says, no, I don't see anything. And I said, it's the cross of light. And he said, I can't see it. And so I look back up, and all of a sudden when I look back up, there were these huge dark brown cable poles, and all of the cables and power and everything, like it was they were huge. They went all the way from the ground all the way up to the sky. And they were connected and making like a square in the sky. And around all the wires at the top, they sparkled like there were twinkle lights on them, and it was beautiful, and it was huge, and it was covering almost the entire sky. And but in that moment, I knew that I could feel in my spirit that they were trying to block our view, and that something or someone dark and evil was placing it there to try to obstruct our view so that we couldn't see the signs in the sky that God was trying to give us. And so I kept looking at my brother, and I'm like, the cross of light, can you see it? Can you see it? And he was like, no, I can't see it. And as this is happening, I start to get kind of like, I'm just very persistent on wanting him to look at the signs. And I start getting panicked because all that obstruction was in the way. And so I grab my brother and I start to kind of pull him over to the left. And it felt like we were on a deck all of a sudden. And my parents don't have a deck in their backyard, but we were on a deck. And I pulled him as far over to the left as I could so that we could try to see around all of the obstruction of these cable wires and poles and everything. And so as I'm trying to look around, I could barely see myself, and I was getting very frustrated. And he obviously still couldn't see anything. And when I look back up in the sky, we were at the end of the deck, and it was as far as we could go. We couldn't get very far. And when I look back up into the sky, the cross of light had turned into, first of all, the entire sky turned into the most vibrant, beautiful blue color. And then there appeared waves in the sky. And this looked like a beautiful painting, and it was very animated. So it turned into the ocean, into the sea, but it wasn't like, but it was more of like just a painting that God was painting. And, but anyways, there appeared to be waves. And so the stars, they ended up turning in one of the cross of light ended up turning into a wood plank, and it looked like, a wood plank cross. And then there was another set of stars that were there was two crosses of light, and another one turned into this old rustic bronze cast iron decorative cross, something that you would see in someone's living room, like hanging up on their wall. But anyways, so they both just turned into something, they were still crosses, but it turned into, they went from the cross of light to, like I said, a wooden cross, and then a rustic cast iron cross. And then, so then I looked at my brother, and I said, I look over to the left a little bit in the sky a little bit more. And I said, there's symbols in the sky. Can you see them? And he said, no, I can't see them. And I said, they're turned upside down. They're down. They're down in the ocean. They're turned upside down. And it was almost like someone had taken the symbols and turned them upside down and put them face down in the sea. And at first they were hard to make out, and then my eyes started focusing and I could see them all. But and there was a few symbols, but there was one of them specifically that I couldn't make out. But anyways, I started to yell and point at the sky, and I was like, Jacob, can you see it? Can you see it? And he said, no, I can't see it. And I said, it's the Statue of Liberty. She's down. And then I saw a tall, pointed building, and I said, oh my gosh, do you see the building? It's down. And he said, I can't see it. I can't see it. And then I said, I can't make out the other one. What's the other one? What is it? Can you see it? What is it? Jacob, what is it? And he's like, I don't know. And I said, and I was getting all like upset and panicked. And then beside that symbol was a sword, and it was face down. And at the point of it, at the bottom was a skull, and that sword was piercing that skull. And I started to say, death, death. And then I go, Jacob, oh my gosh, can you see it? Can you see it? Can you see the symbols in the sky? The symbols oh my gosh, can you see it? And I said, New York, it's underwater. Building, underwater. Sword, skull, death, underwater. New York is down. New York is down. Money, greed, money, greed, money, greed. Jacob, can you see it? Can you see it? And then I just started weeping and crying hysterically. And then all of a sudden, sitting upright in the water, I see a big, dark brown wooden pirate ship. And it had 3 sails on the ship. And it started kind of sailing around those symbols. And then all of a sudden, all over the entire sky, which was, the painting of the ocean, here came all these other pirate ships with 3 sails, and they were everywhere. And then I kept saying, oh my gosh, the pirate ships. And I just, and I kept yelling, pirate ships, they're everywhere. And then I started yelling again, New York's underwater, Statue of Liberty, underwater, building, underwater, sword, skull, death. New York is down. Money, greed, money, greed, money, greed. Statue of Liberty, down. Tall building, down. Sword, skull, down. And then I was just crying, and I was, Jacob, can you see it? Can you see it? And then I was just weeping and crying, and I said, you have to see this. You have to see it. Please wake up. Look at the signs. They're in the sky. Wake up. And then all of a sudden, I was awoken, like abruptly. And the craziest thing, which I don't think this has anything to do with the dream, but I was woken up by, I felt something kind of burst in, like as I was coming out of my dream, I felt something kind of burst in the back of my, I guess, nasal cavity or throat. I don't know, somewhere back there. And I felt something burst, and then I kind of started to choke a little bit. And that's what brought me out of the dream. And so I get up. I didn't really think anything of it. I get up and I'm like, oh my gosh. And I go and I turn on a lamp and I start to write down my dream. And as I'm writing, my nose is just kind of dripping, and I'm just kind of, like writing and still just crying. And I came out of my dream crying, and I'm still just writing, and my nose is just dripping. And all of a sudden I realize, after I've written basically most of the dream, I look and there's blood everywhere. My nose was bleeding. And I don't know, it was the craziest thing. But anyways, this dream definitely means something. And I've been doing, just kind of looking up stuff. I've been looking up statues from all over the world. I've just been kind of looking up statues. I've been looking up New York, and just meanings of like pirate ships and swords and skulls. And, I know that I think means death. I don't necessarily feel like this dream meant New York is going to go underwater. I almost feel like, since the beginning of the dream started out with kind of when she came out of the water, like all of her beauty was taken away and was stripped from her. I almost feel like something is about to happen that's going to be stripped from. I don't know. I want you guys to kind of help me, give me your take on this. Help me interpret this. I don't want to interpret it because I don't want to be wrong. So I'm just giving you the dream, and I would love for your feedback, and I would love for everybody to chime in and tell me what you feel like this means to you, what you feel like God is saying. Maybe we can all figure things out together. I'm praying that God will continue to speak to me, continue to show me things, and maybe we can all just become a family and really figure things out together. And there are definitely things going on in this world, and time is of the essence. I do know that, and we've got to get some things figured out. And I feel like we need to step up, be an army for God, be in God's army, and fight. We've got to fight. We've got to all join in together and really get things figured out and start fighting back. And I don't know. I don't know if this is end times. I don't know if this is part of Revelation. I don't know if this is something maybe we're trying to uncover, truth at this point. There's so many things going on in this world that is so confusing. And I think if we all kind of join in together as a family and really try to help each other out and figure things out and fight back, I think it's so important right now. So anyways, I'm a lover of God, and God loves all of his creation. And so I love you all. And I'm just praying for all of you, for this world, for our country. Let's just stay together on this. And like I said, I'm going to post a few pics that I found while researching. So yeah, just let me know your thoughts, and please comment. Let's figure this out together. And one more thing to remember and keep in mind, there was another symbol that I could not see and I couldn't make out. And so I don't know, there may be another kind of little piece to this puzzle. But anyway, okay, well, thank you for listening. God bless all of you, and have a wonderful day.